Look at this, I've actually got Samantha in a video. Isn't this amazing? So we're down here at Lake Macquarie Yacht Club. This is probably one of the first clubs that you come to as you come through the channel into Lake Macquarie. Anyway, I thought we'd do this quick video here to sort of talk about how we prepared, I guess, to move aboard. So there are, of course, lots of things that, lots of people out there that basically sell right up and they move aboard all within a couple of months. But we had several years to plan and everything. Now, where did the first idea come from? This, of course, credit goes back to Phil Thompson, a guy I used to work with. He basically built his own cat, and he took his kids and everything, and they went and did the Great Barrier Reef for about 18 months. So I've had that idea for a long time, about 10 years ago. 5 years is when I went onto the deferred salary scheme, and I've talked about that in another video. All right, so I guess first of all, a bit of our background. So Sam, if you want to tell everybody, give everybody a bit of a background about what your history is with the water.
So I guess I've done a little bit of sailing. I raced a few 16-foot hobby cats in the Upper Hunter in my youth when I was a teenager, and then we also had a motorboat when I was growing up, just a little 16-foot as well, half cabin, a family boat which we used on holidays. And so I've had my license for a powerboat since I was quite young, as soon as I could, at about 13 I think. And I've done a bit of water skiing after that through uni with water ski boats, and into the 20s. And I also did a sailing yacht rally around the Black Sea.
As you do, just the Black Sea.
I did a UK working holiday, and at some point went travelling with the intention to go to Turkey and Greece, and ended up in Turkey for a few weeks and met a whole bunch of people who were doing this yacht rally around the Black Sea, starting off in Istanbul. And they needed extra crew, so there was an Australian catamaran named Cheetah. I think it was from Mooloolaba at the time. And I ended up on there for about 8 weeks, and had a great time, had a ball, met heaps of people, and since then...
Weren't you the head princess of the rally or something?
And in the Turkish papers, I was known as the Cairo Queen, which was quite interesting. I've got the front page of the newspaper still stashed away somewhere.
Yep.
With my photo on the front.
And what about when you went into Russia? What were the? They didn't have fireworks in Russia back then. What did they have?
So we went to the Ukraine, Crimea, and at the time they were only just allowing sort of people outside of the state to come in, and they did a massive big naval display, and they shot off 1 or 2 cruise missiles while we were there, just as a fun display.
As they do, no fireworks. We haven't got fireworks here in Crimea, but we do have some cruise missiles, so we'll just fire those off, eh?
Yeah, so it was it's quite interesting. Obviously, I was, I think, 22 at the time.
We haven't quite gone through my background. My father was a marine mechanic.
Who got seasick.
Who used to get seasick on the dock, sitting at the marina. And that was, so I was growing up around boats as well, just like Sam. I did up a number of boats. So I used to buy cheap sort of little fiberglass outboard boats, and I would sort of put new floors in them or give them paint jobs and everything. I was very much addicted to water skiing, and that's why I was buying these boats. And eventually I bought a little 23-foot boat, like a half cabin boat. And I learnt just how terrible it is to have, of course, a boat on the mooring, because, of course, you'd be always worried when the storm comes through as to whether it was filling up with water or whether it had broken its mooring and it was going to be blown across the lake and run into every other possible boat. But, that's it. My life was the growing up with the cruiser, then, of course, water skiing, lots of water skied in America, lots of water skiing back here in Australia. Did my IRB driver's course, which, of course, is one of the best courses I've ever done there. Learning to drive a inflatable rigid boat in the surf, in Australian surf, so something decent.
We've left the kids.
Yep, that's all right. We can leave the kids as long as possible, I think.
We've just left the kids at the yacht club.
Yep. All right, so that brings us up to then. All right, so we had this plan then 5 years ago to basically set sail. So, all right, so what do we do to build our skills from there? So the first thing we did was we hired a Seawind 1000 on Lake Macquarie, and there's a video to that as well. And it's actually funny, I think, when you watch that video back, because it really shows just how little we really knew. You know, even just about trying to do a jibe there, we're like, oh, I'm sure there must be some way that you do a jibe, but we didn't know about it. All right, so Samantha's going to show us now how to jibe. So she turns the boat quite aggressively there. Now the boom's going to swing over and make a terrible noise and stuff. There's probably some way of doing this without doing it. So she releases the headsail there, and she comes over here and tightens the headsail back up with the other rope. Steering at the same time. Look at how talented she is. Expert at the seas now. Using that pulley thing. What's that pulley thing called, Samantha? So we hired the Seawind, and then we hired a Lagoon 380 up at the Whitsundays, and had a week up there with that. All right, so we've turned around. All right, so what was really impressive about that, of course, is that we got to, you know, run the 380 around and everything, and get the ropes of that. Sam did a great job pulling that big boat into the marina and in amongst all of the other $1 million boats. And then we hired a boat on Pittwater, a mono hull. I think it was a Hunter 33 or something. And so that had built up all the, you know, the bare boats built up all of those experiences.
And a little bit of confidence. So, yeah, also we bought our trailer sailor a few years ago. And we've been getting the kids used to going on the water and doing a little bit of sailing. Granted, we've done probably more motoring, but the trailer sailor has been great to get the kids used to the idea of a sailboat, being on the water, giving us a little bit of confidence as well. But by no means am I I would not call myself an experienced sailor. I think we'll be winging it most of the time.
Oh, we haven't even talked about the day skipper courses. So, after doing the bare boating and everything, and we made the decision to go, we decided then to basically do our day skipper course. So I went to the Whitsundays, and my day skipper course was a 5-day course. There was an overnight sail, and we sailed down to Yeppoon. So that was a really great experience that I had. Samantha?
Yeah, yep. So I did a week as well, which I mentioned earlier, with Flying Fish.
Out of Sydney?
I did mine with. We didn't sail out of Sydney, but the company's based out of Sydney. And I flew up to Hamilton Island to the Whitsundays, had a nice week up there.
Yeah, and obviously the day skipper courses take you through, you know, even though it says day skipper, you know, you're really learning how to be on the boat full time and do, you know, as I said, mine had an overnight passage and everything, and was really great for building all your skills, I think.
Yeah, mine didn't have an overnight passage, but I have done several nights at sea when I did the yacht rally over in the Black Sea.
Yeah, so now that's it. We're ready to make the leap. We've built our skills on the water and everything. And
we'll see you next time.
As much as we can.
Yeah, we've got the Light Wave 38 there. Quite a decent sized boat, by the looks of it. 38. And the Spirited 380.